now that it's all finished, we could just say it's good to be back home and good to see you guys again. We feel pressure many of you are under in terms of emotional pressure. We also feel that many of you are feeling quite, what's the best way to put it, sad about the law of attraction, what it's bringing you in your life. And the reality is when we are sad about the law of attraction and what it's bringing us, we still have a lot of resistance to being humble. So hopefully with the interviews that myself and Mary are doing over the coming weeks, we're talking more about humility, and also then after that we're hoping to talk about truth and also repentance and forgiveness about those particular things. So it should be good to see what happens.
And hopefully we'll have the humility study group up and running in the next couple of weeks as well, and thanks for your interest in that. So I'm excited about that.
So it should be interesting the next few months.
Yeah. We love you guys.
Don't give up growing in love. Eh?
Don't give up, my goodness. You're on the cusp of greatness.
But don't do it for that reason.
Well, greatness is not really how you think it is right now. Greatness is in a far more rewarding way than...
We often reflect upon how similar things happen compared to what happened in the first century at times, and we also see that many of you are afraid of, well, you don't understand yet the difference between yourself and what you've learned now in comparison to the average person on the planet. And I'm not saying this to inflate your opinion of yourself. I'm just saying as a comparison, it's important to understand that you have things you can already share with the world, and there are plenty of people around us in our current environment who are open to being shared with, as long as they don't feel judged or they don't feel that your condition is arrogant. And so, the reality is there's so much we can do just from our own example in terms of teaching other people. And many of you have a desire to do that, but you're not engaging that because you're waiting for some undetermined or indeterminate time in the future where you feel like you'll be ready to do that. Or some of you believe that because I might be able to do it better than yourself at the moment and answer more questions, that you should leave it all up to me. But the reality is I can't help, individually cannot help, more than 20 to 50 people probably at once. So how is it going to be a worldwide change without your help?
Yeah. And each of you is a unique soul created by God that has a unique way of expressing these truths and sharing yourself. And people are going to respond to different people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But be humble. Be humble about your opinions, You don't know everything, and you know that. And you also don't really believe who I am yet, so you know that. So just be humble about that with other people. Do you know what I mean? Let yourself feel those feelings properly and be humble about it. Sometimes you feel frustrated and angry about the Divine Love Path. So tell people that. Tell people the truth about what you feel rather than, when you got the opportunity, rather than trying to portray it to be something that it's not,
We worry that people try to have a facade on the Divine Love Path, We're trying to teach you about breaking down the facade, and then you create a facade of the Divine Love Path and try to present a facade of that to the community as well. And the most beauty is in who you are and where you truly are, And
just take care with, blaming the community for their treatment of you when the reality is there's obviously something going on inside of us that attracts any of those kind of things. So, this is where being humble is so important on the path. Myself and Mary, when we went to Brazil, it was interesting because before we went, there were hundreds of people wanting to come along to the talks that we were going to give there. In one of the talks that we gave, there was 5 people. How would you feel if that happened to you?
So a relief. There's only 5.
But if you had paid $15,000 of your money, which somebody did actually do. They donated a flight to us and those kind of things. So somebody paid for all of that. If that had been your funds, how would you have felt? You know, most people would have felt some kind of disappointment and so forth. And these are all just things that we need to work our way through. Many of you feel that why aren't things growing more rapidly if it's true? Not understanding how patient God is about all of this. Yeah. So, they're just things I wanted to say while I had the opportunity. We'll talk more about our trip away when we get the opportunity, perhaps. But
yeah. It was a great trip, actually. It was really good. And it was very mixed response in Brazil, but there was a fantastic translator, a lady who's been on the Divine Love Path for 2 years, who's a professional translator who did most of the translating. And so we both just feel there's an amazing resource now for anyone in Portuguese. So it's just ready and waiting for people to come. And
much of the material we presented is like the basic material that most people need to understand. If they were going to listen to 30 hours of presentation, that'd be the basic material, and it's a bit stilted because of the translating, but that's the basic material. Yeah. And Mary did some more channeling while we were away as well with spirits about the material, so that those channelings were pretty interesting too. So you'll get to see some of them if you haven't already. Yeah.
That's part of me embracing my fears for public mediumship. AJ and I are thinking of, rather than having regular seminars for a little while, we might have regular mediumship sessions where we channel a spirit and have a discussion. Let you guys ask questions of the spirit or discuss the channeling afterwards. But it's all just an idea yet.
So we'll see what happens there too. So how you all done? You feeling a bit stressed out, eh? I just feel that there's a lot of feelings of like getting exhausted with the process. And if you're not enjoying the process, then it's because of resistance. So be honest about the resistance. Let yourself feel the frustration and the anger, and let yourself feel those emotions that have created the resistance.
What you want badly that you're not getting. And also confront fear, like a lot of you are putting off your desires or waiting to have your desires and things. And
waiting till you're perfect.
Yeah. Desire brings so much joy, even if it's messy. I'm an expert at that now too. Messiness in my desire.
Is there anything you want to ask us before we finish?
Yeah.